Welcome to Movement and Talisa. Today's class is a creative flow. It is a little bit challenging, so please be up for a challenge. And please remember that if you cannot do some or even a lot of the poses, you can skip over them or modify them to something that you can do. But remember that challenging ourselves is how we grow. We have to be willing to feel incompetent and foolish in order to get better. So please, if you find yourself falling behind, have a good attitude, have fun with it, don't take it too seriously, and keep trying. If you get anything out of today's class, I do ask that you like, comment, subscribe, or share, as it helps me immensely. The props that you'll need for today are maybe a set of blocks. They will help bring the floor a little bit closer in some poses, so I'll grab mine in a second here. Otherwise, just your lovely self and your mat. We're going to get started with a quick little tabletop warm-up. Coming to hands and knees, let's get in tune with our breath by cycling through a few rounds of cat and cow. We're gonna inhale, coming into our cow shape, gaze lifts up, tailbone lifts up, belly sinks down towards the mat. Exhale, rounding through the spine, pushing the mat away, tucking your chin towards your chest, lengthening your tails like a dog tucking his tail between his legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more rounds. Gripping through your fingers so those knuckles in the middle of your fingers lift up, shift forward and back, warming up into the wrists, just a smidgen. Keep the breath slow and steady. Come to pause in a neutral position. Lift up the thumbs. Let's do 10 wrist push-ups. So just lifting up the palm for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Reach the right arm to the opposite top corner of your mat. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Push through the knife edge to come all the way up. Switch sides. Lower the chest and lift. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Push all the way up. Extend the left leg back behind. Lift, bend through the leg, flex through the foot. Lift the bottom of the foot up towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the leg, circle the leg out to the side, lower the toe down, and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Circle the leg back around, lower. Other side, extend the right leg, lift, bend through the leg, flex through the foot, lift and lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just going to shift over a little bit because I know I'm going to hit the wall. Extend the leg, circle it out to the side, lower the toes, lift. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Circle the leg back around, lower. Sit back on your heels. Close out your eyes. 2 rounds of slow, steady breath. And gently flutter your eyes open. And we're going to come to standing to start. We're starting this little flow on this side with a sissy squat. If you've never done these before, I'm going to talk a little bit more for this. Don't feel like you have to go crazy with it. A sissy squat is a classic knees over toes move. So you're hinging back as you're squatting down. If you need to hold on to something, a wall, to feel more stable, maybe bring your hands behind you. Don't worry about going too far. I'm coming up on my toes, just bending through my knees, leaning back as a counterbalance. So if this is as far as you can go, play around with this movement a little bit, and then you're gonna have to come down onto the ground on your knees with your toes tucked. If you have a little bit more range of motion with your sissy squat, coming down, I like to bring my hands behind and then catch my ankles as I lower down in almost a pseudo camel pose. So again, if you can't come all the way down in your sissy squat, just do a partial range sissy squat and then come down to a kneeling position with toes tucked, knees a little bit wider. From here, we're hinging back. So you can lower the hands, bum is lowering down, come to your range. Again, depth is individual, stop wherever you need to, no ego stretching, no ego yoga. If you can come down further, maybe you can grab the ankles and even drop the head back, coming to bring the top of the head in contact with the mat. And tucking the chin if the head was lowered back, and working our way up from whatever depth that we were working at. And from here, we're just shifting back by whatever means necessary. It doesn't necessarily have to look graceful or smooth. We're coming back into a seated position. Walk the hands behind, push down through the feet to lift the hips, and scoot the bum closer to the feet for a shoulder stretch. Push through the feet to shift the bum back, and then rotate the fingers so that they're pointing towards the outside of the mat as we lift up into a reverse tabletop. Let's do 5 pulses here to work into the back line muscles a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now extend one leg and then the other. Lift the hips, working that back line of the body as well. If this is too much, then do it with bent legs still. Just extend the legs a little bit more than our reverse tabletop. Walk the legs back into our tabletop position. Lower the bum all the way down. Shift a little bit onto the left hip, and then lower the forearm down. Now you want the elbow as close to the side of the mat as possible, because you'll see with the little fun transition we're doing how that will create space. Plant through the feet, lift the hips back up. This top arm is just here as a counterbalance. And now extend through the left leg. From here, plant the right palm, swivel, extend that left leg up. So we're in this funky three-legged dog position. Swivel back, extend the leg, lift the hips. Swivel. I like to do a little hop to get my foot in a better position. And then bring it back through, lift the hips. One more time, swivel, pop up a little bit more. Now if arm balances are in your practice, then you can lift up into a funky pincha. Maybe you're just doing little hops. Maybe you find a hold. Again, we're just playing and experimenting here. Once you're done with that, even if you were just holding this pose, let's come back, extend the leg, lift the hips, lower the bum, and rotate back to our reverse tabletop position. Hold for 2 rounds of breath. Lower the hips. Extend the legs. We're going to set up for fish pose now. Lift one hip at a time to bring the fingers underneath the bum and lower down onto the elbows. I like to shift back a little bit once I've got my hands placed. And from here, we're going to release the head and bring the top of the head in contact with the mat or the floor if you're off your mat. Puff up the chest. And then pushing through the elbows, lift the head up off of the mat. Tuck the chin, release the arms. And now we're coming to lay all the way on our back, getting set up for a bridge pose. Now this is one of these hard transitions where consider this playtime. This is not a serious yoga class. We are experimenting with our bodies. So if this feels impossible, that's okay. Just do your best. So extend the arms. You should be able to tickle your heels. And then we lift the bum up off of the ground. And now we're going to scoot our shoulder blades so that they're wrapping more underneath us, so that the shoulder blades are really cinched together. And then that way we can prop the hips up with the hands, and we want the elbows as close together as possible. This creates more height for our hips and makes this transition a little bit easier. So pick up one leg and then the other. So we're in this kind of levitating position, and then pushing through the hips, keeping the toes pointed. We're trying to come down onto the tops of our feet so that we can lift the hips and release the head and come to the top of the head again. Maybe you extend the arms, maybe they stay bent. You'll feel a stretch through the quads. And now this is really tricky. I know for me, I'm coming up more onto my, and look at how your mat gets all messy again. This doesn't have to be beautiful or graceful. I'm tucking my toes. Do it by whatever means necessary for you. And then bring the hands behind like you're setting up for a wheel, and using all the strength you have, push up into a wheel. Shift your feet. I'm just doing a gentle wheel today, not pushing to my edge. And then lower everything down, slow lower. Shift the feet away from your hips. You want the feet the width of your mat. And now we windshield wiper as a little glute massage and gentle release for the lower back. I think that was the hardest part of this sequence, so you made it through. A couple more rounds of this. And then finishing with the legs to the left, rolling over. Readjust yourself on your mat, and we're gonna do a little bit of a side glute strengthening move. So propping yourself on your forearm. I like to stack and kind of nook my feet together, staying down on the left shin. We're lifting the hips and lower. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower all the way down. Prop yourself up on your hand, extend the legs, setting up for side plank. Now, of course, like with anything, if you want this a little bit more gentle, lower that left knee down and stay right there. If you want more challenging, lift up that top leg. Maybe you find the right toes with the right 2 peace fingers and get a little bit of a bind. Release the bind if you had it, and wherever you are, come into downward facing dog, 3-legged dog. Right leg is lifted. 2 rounds of breath. Another opportunity for some inversion play. I like to walk my hands back, practicing a split handstand. So you can just do little hops. Maybe you're able to find a little bit of hang time in your handstand. Lower down. And now we are bringing the right leg through, stepping it forward. We're up on the back left toes. Tent the fingertips and reach back behind you. You might need to step that left foot back a little bit more. This is the shape that we're looking for. You can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, engage the fingers strong through the arms and the fingers. Pick up that back foot. Lower it down. Shift the hands forward again. And we're lowering down. Right leg is in front. We're on the knee. Back toes are tucked. Kind of extend through the back leg for now. And you want to bring yourself upright. So this is somewhere where the blocks might help you if you want to hold on to them. But what we're doing from here is bending through the back left leg and lift the knee. If you need to do this in pulses, lift and lower, you can do that. Or if you can hold isometrically, then do so. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Now from here, we are lowering the back foot down, shifting back all the way. Scoot yourself on your mat if you need to, and lower down onto the left heel so the foot is flat, and then grabbing for the right foot. We're in this low pistol squat position, and now we need to stand up from here. So grab your blocks and push yourself up using the left hand, or if you can do it just with strength, all the way up. Balance for a moment, release the foot, use strength, lower the foot down. That's one side. That's hard, that's no joke. So if you're dying, it's okay. This is great, great for the mind and body. Now we're doing second set, other side. Come a little bit to the middle of your mat, and remember we're starting with our sissy squat. So just come to the depth that works for you. Maybe you practice a couple partial reps. If you've got a little bit more range, you can come all the way down. Otherwise, just work your way down onto the knees with tucked toes by whatever means necessary. From here, lowering down, maybe grabbing the feet, lower down as low as works for you. Maybe you can bring the top of your head in contact with the mat. And tucking your chin, working your way back up a little bit, and then just shifting back, walk the hands back, lower the bum down. Hands are back behind you. Press through the feet to lift the hips away, coming into our shoulder stretch. Puff the chest a little bit to get a little bit more sensation through the shoulders. And then push to the feet to bring the bum back. Turn the fingertips so they're pointing towards the outside of the mat. And then lift the hips. Let's do 5 pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend the legs. Maybe it's just a little bit. Maybe it's all the way. If it's all the way, lift the hips. And then walk it back to our tabletop. From here, we lower the hips, shift a little bit on now to the right hip, lower the right arm down so we're on the forearm. Again, we want the elbow towards the side of the mat. Forearm can be at a little bit of an angle. Extend through the right leg, left arm is here as a counterbalance. Lift, plant the palm, bend through the right leg to twist and transition through to this funky 3-legged downward facing dog. Bring it back, lower the hips, lift, transition. One more time, lower the hips, lift, transition. Now you can stay right here, or if you like to play around with inversions and arm balances, maybe you try gentle, controlled little hops to see if you can come into a funky pincha. Lower down, swivel back through, lift the hips one more time, lower, and propping ourselves back up into our reverse tabletop. 2 rounds of breath. Lower the hips, extend the legs. Fish pose again. So lift up the hips to get the fingers, the hands underneath, lower to the elbows, puff the chest up. You can stay right here, or you can make those little micro adjustments and lower the top of the head down towards the mat. Coming all the way back up. Release the hands. And we lay all the way on our backs in preparation for that supported bridge, this hard transition. Don't overthink it. Place the feet, make sure you can feel the heels. And then we squeeze the shoulder blades together. Prop up our hips. Remember, we want the elbows as close together as possible. Bring one knee in towards the chest and then the other. Pointed toes, lifting through the hips. Try to slowly lower down onto the tops of the feet. You can release the hands to come into this camel position. Now again, by whatever means necessary, tuck through the toes. It's okay if your mat gets messy. Plant the palms and using strength, push up into just a gentle wheel. And slowly lower. Bring the feet a little bit further away. Feet or distance of your mat and windshield wiper. Slowing the breath. After that tremendous exertion. I hope you can see that that transition's not easy for me too. I'm over here just doing my best as well. Lower the knees over to the right. As we roll over to the side, get set properly on your mat if you need to. Stack the feet and kind of knuck them together. We're on the forearm. And then lifting the hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lower the hips. Come up to the palm. Extend the legs for a side plank. You can make this more gentle, or if you want more of a challenge, lift that top leg. See if you can find the big toe with those 2-piece fingers. Slowly release and come into our 3-legged dog. Left leg is up. You can stay right here if you want to play around with your inversion, your handstand. I like to walk my hands back a little bit first, and then maybe you're just taking little jumps, or maybe you find a little bit of hang time. Lower down, step the left foot through, prop up on the right toes, tent your fingers and reach back behind. So maybe you need to bring that back foot back a little bit further. Now you can stay right here, or strong arms, strong fingers. You can pick up that back foot. Lower it down. And now we're coming down, up on the front toe, lower the knee down, back leg is kind of extended. We want to be a little bit more upright for this. And then we bend through the back leg. So if you need your blocks, grab your blocks, bend through the back leg, and now lift and lower, or just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee. Tuck the back toes, shift all the way back, coming flat onto the right foot, left leg is extended. Grab from the inside. You can use your block here on the highest setting to help push yourself up, or using strength, come all the way up, balance, use strength here for a moment, lower that leg down, and we're done. Whew. I hope you're warm. I hope that was a fun challenge for you, and that you didn't get too discouraged even when you couldn't do something. Again, I struggle with a lot of those, so we're just exploring and trying new things. Let's cross the ankles and lower to a seated position. We're gonna do a straddle stretch here. You can make this as gentle as you want. If you have bolsters or pillows nearby, you can bring them in front of you and make this more of a yin hold. But leading with the chest, coming to your depth. Nice flat back. So avoiding this, we want to tilt the pelvis forward and then fold. Come to about 60% of your maximum to start. Let your body warm up to it. Maybe just gentle movements to work into different regions of the muscles, and really slowing the breath down after all that hard work we just put in. Notice your feet. Make sure they're doing something. They can be pointed or flexed. They're just active. Now come to about 70, 80% of your maximum. And then come to your complete depth, wherever that may be. As I like to say over and over again, it does not matter what the pose looks like. Yes, we want good form, but the depth doesn't matter. It's the sensation. It's the cultivation of the mind that we're ultimately after. Depth will come with time. No need to rush the process. Work with your body. Slowly come up a third of the way. Deep breathing. Come up another third. All the way up. Gently bring the legs together. Notice how they feel after a deep, intense stretch like that. Let's bring the right leg forward. We're going to keep working into the legs with some slower, deeper holds. Our low lunge here. Feeling this in the hip flexor and the quad. You can bend through the back leg to feel it even more in the quad if you'd like. Lower that back leg if you had lifted it, and then shift the hips back. Hamstring stretch. Front foot is flexed, leading with the chest. None of this. We don't want the tailbone tucked under for this. We want anterior pelvic tilt. You'll feel it so much more in the hamstring, which is what we are targeting. Come forward into that low lunge. We're going to do each of those one more time. Or if splits are in your practice, you can hold your splits. If you're in your low lunge, you can pick up that back foot. You can even do so as well in your split to get even more into the quad. If you're in the low lunge, shift back for your half split, your monkey pose, working into that front hamstring, anteriorly tilting at your pelvis. And then wherever you are, and slowly come out of it. And just switching the sides. Bringing the left leg in front. Let's everyone start with this low lunge. And bending through that back leg to feel even more in the back right quad. Lowering the back leg down. Pulling the hips back. Think about anterior pelvic tilt, so the opposite of tucking our tail between our legs. We don't want this, we want this. Flex through the front foot. Focusing on the sensation in the back of that left leg. Shifting forward and coming into your second round of low lunge, or coming into your split. If you bent through that back leg, you can do so again. You can do so in your split as well if you'd like. Release that back leg if you're in your low lunge. Pull the hips back. Feeling the hamstring stretch in the front left leg. Just holding where you are in your split. And then wherever you are, slowly releasing, gently coming up and out of it. And we're working into the upper body a little bit with our last pose here. Coming into a puppy pose. I like to grab and grip the top of my mat for this. Lower the chest, melting it down towards the mat. And push through the hands to come up out of that puppy pose. Knees together, knees splay, and pull the hips back for child's resting pose. See if you can bring the forehead in contact with the mat. You can keep the arms extended overhead or bring them back behind you. Closing off our practice in this child's resting pose. Eyes are closed. The tongue is relaxed away from the roof of the mouth. And letting the body get heavier with each exhale. I thank you kindly for joining me today. And in closing, we say, Namaste.